All right, legends. Welcome to another live stream. Remember to smash up that like button on your way in. And whoo, I have seen all the bearish thumbnails on YouTube, all the YouTube influencers, Twitter or X, right? Everyone just calling for the end of the bear market. Solana is going to go into a bear market. And here is Dewald, the only peanut in the packet, right, that is a little bit excited for potential more upwards momentum. We have finally hit the level that I have been talking about for quite some time. 786 has been tapped to perfection. Let me know in the comments if anyone got into this long position over here. Stop below the wick and you protect your position as price is moving in your favor. Right, legends, we have been talking about this level in so many live streams. We finally got the dip here to the downside, and now we are gaining some upwards momentum. And yes, as per the thumbnail, this is the level that I wanted to see hit. But there's another level that is very important for the bulls to start taking control. Right? And I will analyze this level in a moment and I will explain the high probable scenarios that could potentially play out here. So legends, smash up that like button, hit subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Let's get the party on the road.
Big move in Bitcoin then, in contrast to all the notes I wrote pre-show, which were telling me that this was going to put Bitcoin under pressure.
The narrative that perhaps this launch of these political meme coins will sap flows from Bitcoin is showing us that it's really not the case this morning. If anything, it's just accelerated the momentum and the excitement around cryptocurrency under another Trump
Hello.
Hi, Dewald. What is all this FOMO about? Should I buy Bitcoin now?
Are you smoking your socks? You should rather watch my show. You should rather watch my show.
Yes, legends, you should rather watch this show because we have been talking about this level for so long. Right, legends, we have been talking about this level for so long and we finally got the tap here to the downside. But, you know, I always say there's another trade around the corner and it's true, okay? I did not catch this long. I was busy with other things. But, I at least got into a long on AR because I got stopped out and my alarms went off. Because I like to set alarms at my stop loss as well. Okay, so I had an entry here on AR, like I've disclosed here on the live stream. I had an entry here on AR and my stop loss was at break even, a little bit higher. Okay, and then I got stopped out. And then I re-entered because we got another swing failure pattern. And now my entry is over here on AR. And I went in a little bit more aggressive because of how tight my stop loss is. And now my position again is already protected. So I didn't get into the damn Bitcoin long, the level that I have been speaking about, but at least I got back into AR after getting stopped out. And it has the chance, if Bitcoin can find some upwards momentum, to break the trend and potentially find some upwards momentum, right? That is how I like to get into trades. If I get stopped out because I was wrong in my technical analysis, trying to catch the bottom over here, if I get stopped out at break even with a little bit of profits in the bag, okay, because I mean, this TP or this stop loss over here basically just covered the fees, okay, so I got stopped out at break even, didn't lose any money over there, and then I entered again. Currently now I'm in profits, but my stop loss is now slightly above my entry price. So, you know, I like to get into my favorite altcoins with good risk management, knowing that I now have again a protected position after I got stopped out. So I did not manage to catch the long entry over here, but I know there's always another trading scenario around the corner. And this is what we now need to analyze here, legends, is that if you did not get into this long, and I know a lot of the pro members inside of our Discord community sniped this bad boy here at the bottom to perfection, position protected, and some of them already started taking profits as well. Right, legends, now, okay, I want to discuss the probabilities. And we're going to go through the bearish, the bullish case scenario, because a good technical analyst always has a trading plan above for short opportunities and has a trading plan below for potential long opportunities. So we're going to go and discuss the scenarios that could potentially play out here. I must say, I'm most probably the only bullish peanut in the packet at the moment, because here Dewald is, the level has been hit, and perhaps the bulls have a chance to find upwards momentum over here. Why do I say that, legends? And I'm going to go and explain that pivot in a second. When you take a fib from the low to the high, I mean, you know, we've been talking about this fib pool for so long, right? And we said if we get a successful SFP from this low swing failure pattern where price dips below and it gets acceptance back above, it starts trading back above the level, that is a sign of strength. That is where you enter. Even you didn't even have to sniper the 786. You could have sniped the low over here. Okay. This is also another scenario that I spoke about. What if this is the A, B, and now we have created the C here to the downside, 1.618. Damn, Joanne, 1.618, 786. SFP from the pivot low. I mean, that was just such a beautiful, obvious longing level. Okay, and I know that when we get dumps here to the downside, it usually scares the crap out of most traders, especially if they are beginner traders, okay? But I mean, that is your opportunity with the best risk management possible. If you are now like, oh crap, I missed out, and you now entering here aggressively, and you have your stop loss here below the low, you're exposing yourself to a lot of risk, because what if we reject here and fall down? Okay, that is where you were supposed to get in. So in this update, I want to explain to everyone, well, because I didn't get into the Bitcoin long, where am I planning to get in? Okay, because there's always another trade around the corner. Just want to close some stuff over here. Okay, that's closed, right. Cool, legends. Yesterday, and I do apologize, I did not do a YouTube live stream yesterday. I wasn't feeling too well. Massive headache. My body just needed some rest, right? I've been tackling the gym like a crazy maniac, throwing the weights around, and I think my body was just like, no, you need a break, right? You need a break. So yesterday I just needed to give my body a break, but I still got into yesterday? I got into 2 successful trades yesterday. Although I did not catch the bottom over here, I still got into 2 successful trades. And I like to go through the trades that I take from an education perspective. So, legends, the 2 trades, let me see. There was a short that I took. Actually, okay, this short over here, right, is a level that we have spoken about. I think I mentioned this in my update, if I'm not mistaken. This little short over here where I entered at, where was that? 96524. 96524. Right over there, I took the short. And right, although the percentage shows 48%, I actually had a limit order over here. I started taking some profits. Can't remember. I started taking some profits. Where was that level? Wait. Okay, because I'm here on the 2-hour time frame. I remember I started taking some profits at a specific level, and then anyways, I had a limit order, legends, here at the 786, a TP, not a limit order to buy in, okay, to take profits, which got kicked last night, 8 o'clock, profits in the bag. right? So that's the short that I've taken over there. And I just want to zoom into the smaller time frames just to explain to everybody, because I do think that I did go through the scenario yesterday. Okay, why did Dewald short over there? Why, oh why? Yes, this is where I took the short right over here with my stop above the high. Price fell down. It started consolidating here. Remember my rule. When you hit support, you start taking profits. You short resistance, you take profits by support. And I left a little bit of the position open and it closed my position at the 786 level. So a nice trade, a nice little short here to the downside that I got into yesterday, because I knew, right, when I saw the weakness inside of this consolidation area, and especially when I saw that pivot. Why that pivot? You might be asking yourself, well, if you take a fib from the low to the high, we tapped the 0.88. With that little pivot, we tapped the 0.88, which increases the probabilities you're going to take the low. And I knew if we're going to take this low, we're going down, and we're most probably going to the 786 level. So I put my TP here to close out my position when I saw that. Although I've already taken 60% of my profits over there, I let the rest run here to the downside, and it closed my position over here. And you might be asking yourself, well, Dewald, how did you know to short? How did you sniper that short right over there? Well, for me, it was, well, it's simple, I suppose. Not for everyone, it wasn't simple, but this is a scenario that I explained yesterday. Is I took my trend-based fib, speculating on this being an ABC corrective structure to the upside. Okay, this is the impulse. This is an A. Oh, sorry, this is the impulse, that is the A, that's the B, flat, and C. And then I took my trend-based fib from the low to the high to the low. Okay, now I had corrective structure targets. So the obvious level that I was watching is a short from these pivots, because these pivots, they present beautiful opportunities. I really like the 15-minute and 1 hour time frame. It is my favorite time frames to do most of my trading. Okay, and then I saw this, and I basically used the 1.236 level to play the swing failure pattern, because the bodies failed to claim or close above this level. It left a wick behind, and then that is where I sniped that trade. I got in at $96,524. So I was literally $2 a little bit above this level over here. That is where I entered. I had my stop loss glued to that high, because we trade with stop losses, we practice good risk management, and my first TP area was these lows. That is, where I plan to take my first profits. And from a risk to reward perspective, I mean, come on, that was I entered right over there. My stop loss was glued to the high, and I plan to take profits by the low. A 4.25 risk to reward. And for those of you that have watched my risk management video that I uploaded yesterday, you'll know how powerful your risk to reward can be. Okay, my stop loss was 0.24% away. Powerful, which means I could have even played 100x position, and even if I traded with 1% of my capital or my portfolio at 100x leverage, I still wouldn't have gotten liquidated. I would have gotten stopped out. We don't get liquidated here on this channel. Well, I don't get liquidated. Okay, I can tell you guys now, I do not get liquidated. I get stopped out. Right, and then this is what happened. Okay, the rest is history. So I like to show people the trades and the scenarios that I was looking at. And I also remember I spoke about this scenario yesterday in the Legends Pro community, this level over here. Okay, so yes, I sniped it a little bit higher, but I did say that there's a high chance you're going to get a rejection at this high, right? So even if you got the acceptance back below over here, you entered a little bit late with your stop above the high, you could have still made significant profits here to the downside. Also, what I was looking for is the following, okay? Together with the FIB retracement target, I was also looking at this. A normal FIB from the high to the low that we created over here. And ever so slightly, let me zoom in here, legends, ever so slightly. Okay, can you guys see over here? We did not tap the 0.88. Ever so slightly front run that level over there, ever so slightly. And I knew as long as you do not tap the 0.88, this could be forming an impulse to the downside. And that's exactly what we got. You could still be forming an impulse to the downside, and that's exactly what it did. It created an impulse because it did not tap the 0.88. You can see how it found rejection here by the 786. So that was the short. Right, the rest is history. I also took a long. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's the long that I took. Just want to see how and where did I take this long. Right, I know I took 2 successful trades. I did post the screenshots over here because I wanted from an education perspective to show everyone. And I think, it was, yeah, right, 95, 210. Oh, this is where I got in because this was an SFP from the lows. Also a trading setup that I spoke about yesterday in the Legends Pro community. I said, Legends, if price, we were trading over here. I told the Legends, if price dips below and it gets acceptance back above, I am longing this bad boy to the upside. That's exactly $95,000, 210. $95,000, 210 is right over there. That is where I entered, right over there. So I was a little bit late to the party, but I got in with good risk management, protected my position, and 96, 141. 96 141, yes. And basically when you hit resistance, that is where I closed my position. So I took the long to the upside, closed my long, and took the short and closed my short at the 786. So up, down, 2 successful trades in the bag. And it shows you how you can sniper the levels if you know what you are doing from a scalping perspective. I do know for some traders it is difficult to get into these trades, but this is why you are watching this channel. This is why I am educating you, because a lot of people, I can tell you now, are sitting on their hands and they are waiting for the bull market to continue. A lot of people are waiting for this trend to finally break out so we can get some upward momentum. They can play the breakout and the retest for continuation here to the upside. But during this entire zone, okay, they have been doing nothing. They've most probably lost capital. They've most probably, all the profits that they've made with the meme coins and all the shit coins that's going to the upside, they've most probably lost everything during this entire boring consolidation that we have been inside. Okay, so if you are a breakout trader, you are really going to struggle to be consistently profitable. It means that you'll only be able to trade 20 to 30% of the time because the market ranges for 70 to 80% of the time and it only trends for 20 to 30% of the time. So if you do not know how to trade a range and make significant gains inside of a range with good risk management, you're going to struggle as a day trader. You're really going to struggle. So you need to learn to trade ranges. A lot of traders, and I see a lot of YouTube channels and influencers, they are very good with trading trending markets. They're very good with trading trending markets, but as soon as price consolidates, they don't know what to do. They have no idea. Okay. Right, legends, this is why I started the YouTube channel, to educate and show everyone. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to dive into why I have circled that little pivot over there. Okay, so we've discussed this one over here. And before I delete this little green box over here, there's just one thing I want to highlight, because this is now why I want to explain to everyone, why am I starting to lean a little bit more bullish? Why am I the only peanut in the packet at the moment that are leaning bullish where the whole world has turned bearish at the moment? So we will analyze that in a moment. Remember, legends, down in the description, weeks, okay? Let me go here. I was checking out some Koens over there. You guys know that I love Koens. I was checking out his analysis from this morning as well. Shout out to Koens. If you guys don't follow Koens, go and give him a follow. Am I on the... Let's go to Dewald over here. Right. Down in the description of this video, let me pause it over there. right? I still got that $100 special on weeks. $100 for free by only using your email and your password to secure your account. If you deposit $200 into the account, you don't even have to trade with it. You get another $100 to trade with. Okay, let's just wait for that to load up. There we go, right? Phone number or email account to secure your account. You get the $100 for free. If you do want to verify, you get an additional $20. And if you do have extra $200 to deposit into your features account and you leave it there for one day, you get another $100 to trade with. I have received some queries from people saying that they have gone through the process, they have signed up, but they have not received their $100 just as yet. I have spoken to the Weeks team this morning and they said, wow, the volume is absolutely crazy high. They didn't expect so many people to sign up. Please, they're just asking everyone for a little bit more patience. It is a manual verification that they're doing on their side, and they have a team that then manually deposits the money into people's account once the verification is successful. So instead of the 24 hours to 48 hours that they've promised, they're just asking that it could take a little bit longer. So please be patient with them. So people are really loving the special here at the moment. It's not going to last forever. So, you know, I have spoken to the Weeks team and they have said they just have a backlog and they need to catch up to the backlog. So if you have signed up and you haven't received your $100 yet, just be patient. It will appear in your account soon. Right. Cool. Legends. The only peanut in the packet that's bullish. Yes. I feel like I'm the only peanut in the packet that's bullish at the moment, right? I see everyone calling for bearish, guys. I mean, go look at the, you know, let's go here to my YouTube feed, okay? I don't mind sharing with everyone what I like to watch. But if I look at my YouTube feed over here, okay, let's see. Okay, no, there's no YouTube channels. But I saw this morning when everyone was launching their new videos, the end of the bull cycle, everyone is bearish. Oh, there's some local bearish CVD building up. Let's see if that continues. Social media calling for the bear market on Solana. Everything's going to crash to the downside. This time is going to be different. Like, you know, I'm just reading so much bearish sentiment. I think I want to check something here. Let's go and look at the fear and greed index on Bitcoin. I just want to go check. Where is the fear and greed index? Where can it like to be? Okay, we are in fear, and you can see the fear from a sentiment perspective, okay? You can definitely see the fear. And I mean, you know, there's a saying in trading that says, fear, when you get fear inside of a bull market, it usually presents the best buying opportunity. Okay. Right, legends, let's go and analyze the price of Bitcoin over here. Now what I want to do is let's zoom into the structure on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, so the first thing I want to highlight over here, legends, is when you take a fib from the low to the high, you can see that we have bounced at the 786 level. Okay, as long as the bulls can hold the 786, this is still a bullish bounce. It is still very much a bullish bounce because the 786 Fibonacci retracement level is considered the last line in the sand for the bulls. If the bulls can defend the 786 from a fib retracement perspective, it still has a chance to claim the high and potentially even go to higher levels. But that is your deepest bullish fib retracement level. Okay, if price taps the 0.88, then you increase the probabilities of taking the low. And I have done the backtesting on this. I told everyone a couple of streams ago, I spent an entire weekend backtesting the 0.88 level just to see what are the probabilities. And I can tell you guys now, it has high probability that when you tap that damn 0.88, it plays out almost every single time that you're going to come and claim the low. And usually, you know, it either taps the level and it breaks down, or it retraces round about the 50% 618 level over here, and then it takes the low. But that scenario, when you tap the 0.88 and you claim the low, it plays out with high probability. Okay, it's not 100%. Nothing in the market is 100%. We trade probabilities, and it has a high chance that Now that we have tapped the 786, the bulls have a chance. Okay, so that's my first sign over here. Okay, we've been ranging sideways for incredibly long over here. We have tapped a bullish bouncing target. We did not tap the 0.88 just as yet. Now this is where this pivot becomes very important for me at the moment. Okay, so that for me is tick number 1. Tick number 2 is that pivot, and I already got half a tick over here. I already have half a tick, and I will explain to everyone what excites me about where price is at the moment. Very excited. Okay, well, for upwards momentum, right? Because that helps the spot bags and the AR trade that I'm currently in. So, legends, if, okay, this was one of the scenarios. So I can now take this one out the way because we've spoken about this one. So what makes this pivot so significant? Okay, that little pivot is because it looked like we were building up momentum to the downside in an A, B, and 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and you're just going to absolutely collapse to the downside. That was the most bearish case scenario that I was looking at, is to say that as long as you're building up 1, 2s, what it basically, it's like a spring coiling up, it's building up strength, and then it explodes in that direction. And I was just like, oh, if we make another bullish retracement here by the 786, there's a high chance we are going to tank here to the downside and go and claim $88,000. There was a high chance. And then some magic happened over here. Okay, and this is what I shared with our Legends Pro community as well. If you guys would like to join our Legends Pro community, the link is down in the description. So now that we have formed potentially the 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, there's now a problem with this 1, 2. There can like to be a little bit of a problem at the moment. And this is what I'm looking at. Again, okay, when I take a fib from that pivot to the low, you can see it was a bearish bounce. Well, a bullish bearish bounce, if you get what I'm saying. When you have momentum to the downside, that retracement needs to maximum tap the 786, and we got the 618 over there, which confirms that momentum can still continue in this direction. Then again, the second 1, 2 that I saw, I was like, oh man, I'm just waiting for the 0.88 to tap, which never came. Let's try this again. Right, 786, we got the 786 to perfection, did not tap the 0.88. So I was like, okay, must probably going down a little bit further. Right, and this is now where the magic, and this is the one where I shorted last night. This was the short of last night. We front run the 0.88 by a couple of dollars. When you take a fib from the high to the low, okay, we front run the 0.88 by a couple of dollars, confirming continuation to the downside. But this is now where it's getting interesting, is that when I take a fib now from this structure, we have officially tapped the 0.88. Yes, now that, okay, that was my tick number 1. Now this is my half tick over here. Finally, we have claimed the 0.88, which increases the probabilities that you're going to come take the high. Once you take this high, there ain't no more impulses to the downside, which means it can't form a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You're not allowed to make a higher high. You're not allowed to. If you still want to create an impulse to the downside, ain't allowed to take that high. But now we've already tapped the 0.88, which already decreases the probabilities of creating an impulse to the downside. So this is looking very good for the bulls at the moment. So we have tapped the 0.88, but there's a high chance, because we tapped the 0.88, that this now gives a little bit of steam to the bulls, because now this increases the probabilities of taking this high. Once we claim this high, I think the breakout over here, okay, is most probably going to be a successful breakout, because you have now broken the momentum to the downside and you're starting to change momentum back to the upside. Because in order for impulses to continue to the downside, you have to create lower highs. Now, if you create a higher high, you're starting to break market structure. Okay, and this cannot be an impulse unless it's a flat, ABC flat, but then you're still going to continue to the upside. So you could still claim the low, but you're not creating impulses to the downside anymore. So ABC flat is fine where you still claim the low, but you're still going to get upwards momentum. I mean, I would love for an ABC flat because then I can get into the trade that I missed out on. Anyways, legends, I do think that the low for now, if the bulls want any chance of gaining some upwards momentum, this is the low that needs to be protected. Right, we have tapped the 0.88 over here, which increases the probabilities of taking the high. Once we take that high, okay, maybe we're still going to get a rejection, but that's not already. We've taken the high. Now I feel better because we can't create impulses back to the downside. So if we do get a rejection in the zone and we start falling to the downside, this is where I will be looking for longs. Because I missed out on this long, this is the zone where I will be looking for longs, especially if you claim that high. Because it could definitely successfully break out to the upside, creating a bullish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 year to the upside. So legends, yes, I do feel a little bit like the only bullish peanut in the packet. But I do like what I'm seeing now because I trade probabilities, and from a probability perspective it's a very, very low probability when you have momentum in a direction and you tap the 0.88. It has a very low probability of creating, okay, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very low probability to do that. A flat, yes, claim the low and get upwards momentum. That's perfect. That has a higher probability than an impulse to the downside. Okay, so what I have seen play out many times is that we have a fresh naked point of control that got printed last night, okay, at 12 o'clock. We have a fresh naked point of control that got printed at $95,000, 425. And we have now broken out, okay? We got some choppiness, and now we are trading above this resistance, which is now flipped into support. So if price rejects where it is right now, okay, because from a backtesting perspective, I've also noticed that if price does reject at the 0.618, it likes to come back to the 618 and the 50% Fibonacci. Okay, and it gets that choppiness and then it goes and claims the high. This is where I want to get into the long with good risk management. Purely from a price action perspective, okay, if I take the Fibonacci's out the way, purely just looking at the price action, I like these two pivots and I like that pivot very much. So from a swing failure price action perspective, what I will be looking at is if price finds downwards momentum, okay, and it can manage to swing failure the lows over here, like it did over there on the larger time frame with a 786 level, or if it fails over here and it keeps on breaking down, this is the level. I really like that pivot the most. For me as a technical trader, this is the pivot that I like the most, because after an impulse with high volume, you have now created a range low. And usually the strategy with a range low is if you tap it, okay, you enter, stop below the low. As soon as you move into profits, you protect your position because price action is not allowed to tap this level for a second time. Right? And then your profit taking area is the highs. So this is the zone, legends. This is my trading plan. Longing plan, longing plan. That is if price starts rejecting from where it is right now, because it can definitely continue momentum here to the upside. It's not to say that it has to come down here and then move up. It could literally just chop, chop, chop and break out, right? And it can just continue the momentum here to the upside, which is going to make it more difficult to get into a long. Not going to lie, that's going to make it difficult to get into the long. right? So I would like to see a retracement, because it's the retracement that provides you with an opportunity to get back in, swing failure from the lows, from these little pivots. That is the zone where I'm interested in. If price leaves without me, then I'll analyze the price action after the breakout and see if I can get in over there. Because often what will sometimes happen is that, okay, price breaks out, and it comes back and it grinds here against the trend. It grinds here against the trend. Doesn't lose the trend, it grinds above. And I usually have a trend line over there and I play that breakout. So I always have another way to get into the trade depending on what price action does. Hope that makes sense. Right, legends, let's go through some comments and then I'll continue the technical analysis over here. And then I want to talk about, well, if we do successfully continue from here. So for those of you that did sniper this long here to the downside, congratulations, well done. We have now increased probabilities of claiming the high and potentially getting a successful breakout here to the upside. So hold on to that position. It might get really rewarding here to the upside. Okay, and right, let's go through some comments. Can you quickly look at ETH CVD? No, I can't. I do have the template, but I have to reload everything and change all my settings, so I can't look at ETH CVD on this chart. Right, unfortunately not. There we go. Okay, I am spotting some local bearish CVD over here. So maybe, you know, this could be the end for now and we're going to get a little bit of a retracement. That would be nice to get a little bit of a retracement so I can get into the long, right? It's not nice. I don't, legends, you must just know one thing about me. I do not FOMO into a trade. There is no way in hell, okay, you're going to see me FOMO into a trade over here after a pump like this. There's no ways. No ways. I have a trading plan and I have a trading plan. If price does not come to me and it continues to the upside, I will have another trading plan on top. But I do not just FOMO into a trade and then it drops. And now I'm underwater, deep underwater. And there I am adding to my position to try and get my entry to move down a little bit. No. That's not, you know, that's how beginners trade. That is how you liquidate your account. That is how you do not practice good risk management. So do not like that scenario at all. Although we have increased the probabilities of taking this high, you could still SFP from the high. You could still swing failure from this high. So there's no ways I'm getting, from a risk to reward perspective, it doesn't make any sense to get in over here. Right. Did Jim Cramer skip mad money yesterday? Right. Legends, community. Yes, Dewald, how did that naked point of control get formed at 95,450? 95,450. How did it get formed? Well, if you go on, there's a couple of ways to get that naked point of control. One of many ways. One way is that you go onto the 1 hour time frame and you switch on your session volume profile, which basically shows you the value area high, the value area low, and the point of control for each day. And you can see yesterday, okay, it's slightly off because there's another method to do it. There was the point of control of yesterday. Okay, that's how I got it. There's the point of control of 2 days ago. There's the point of control of 3 days ago. But we already got price action piercing that level, so I don't use it anymore. Okay, and then there's another way. You can go onto the daily time frame. You can switch off the session volume profile. And then you just look at yesterday's candle from a fixed range volume profile perspective. You go and fixed range volume profile. You snap it onto yesterday's candle. And voila, you've got yesterday's point of control. That's how I got it. And that is where price is finding the strength at the moment. So you guys can see how powerful these levels are. They are really powerful levels. And that's why I have them in my chart to trade them. So Satoshi, I hope that helped. Cool, let's go back here onto the 1 hour time frame. To quickly look at Dewald, how did that naked point of, okay, Dewald, how did that, okay, I've got it right. please show us how to set up your FIP retrace. Dewald, could you please show us how to set up your FIP retracement tool? Very simple. I'm just going to do it quick because you can rewind and take a screenshot. So FIP retracement, there's the settings. Okay, so you can go and pause that and take a screenshot. And then trend-based FIP, there's the settings. So there's the settings. Right. Cool. So you can rewind or pause the video and go take a screenshot and use the same settings as I do. Don't have an issue sharing that. Make sure that you hit the like button, right? Make sure that you do hit the like button for the education and the alpha that gets shared here on this channel. Okay, cool. Legends. Now, Google search for settings up trading views. Dewald naked has been pierced. Yes, the naked point of control has been pierced today. It was pierced today. That's why I still have it. Okay, and it actually showed me the naked point of control, gave me a clue this morning that it can continue to the upside, because this happened, this price action happened after 12 o'clock. So the naked point of control last night, after 12 o'clock, was not tapped. And then we got an initial rejection, but then we started closing bodies above the level, which gave me a clue that even with a retracement, you're most likely going to continue to the upside. That's how I like to use these levels. So yes, in theory, I can now take it away, but I like to use it or leave it for a little bit longer because we have now pierced it. If price had to come back, it can offer support. Okay, so that's why I'm leaving it right for now. That's why I'm leaving it. But I mean, in theory, you can take it out. You don't need it anymore. You can take it out. Right. But it was only pierced today. It wasn't pierced yesterday. It was pierced today. That's why I have the level in for today. Hope that makes sense. Cool. Right. Legends. Now, what I want to do, let's zoom out. Okay. For the bullish, and we can go look at some bearish case scenarios in a moment as well, legends, because, you know, we have to always look at the bearish case scenario as well. Okay. But from a bullish case perspective, if we do successfully break out from this triangle, this trend line over here, okay, we claim that high. I want to see a proper breakout, and I want to see some high time frame candle closes, preferably 1 hour time frame candle closes above the trend. Okay, then I'm looking at the following levels for potential profit taking. So if you are in a long, that was the best time to take the long. Really, that was the best long. If price can successfully reject, that is the long that I'm looking for over there, together with those pivots that we've just identified. So in this zone, I will be looking for long. That would be absolutely amazing to be able to get into a long over here, because I can then still enter with exceptional good risk management. My stop loss will not be below the low. It will be below the SFPs on the smaller time frames. I will have extreme tight risk management. Okay, so I would like to get the rejection and have a long attempt over here than trying to play the breakout, because when you play a breakout, your stop loss has to go over there, which means I can trade. I'm not able to trade aggressively with my capital. I have to deploy far less capital, so that when I enter over here and I get stopped out, I still only need to lose 1% of my portfolio. So it's not a high risk to reward trade for me. Okay, I don't want to get into the breakout. I want to get that long entry, like I got with AR. Okay, if AR breaks out over here and it comes back for a retest, maybe you entered a little bit over there and you add a little bit to your position over there, but your stop loss has to go below the low. Okay, this is why I played the swing failure patterns, because can you see how small your stop loss is? This is why I got in again last night over there, right? Can you see how small my stop loss is? Whereas if you enter over here, now you have a big stop loss. Okay, that stop loss potentially is a 11% stop loss. So if you're playing a 10x position, you will get liquidated. Ain't no way. So you have to play with like a 7x or a 5x leverage position and make sure that you still only lose less than 1% of your capital. But because I played the swing failure pattern, now I have an incredibly tight stop loss from an altcoin perspective. That's 3.9% stop loss. Is way better than a 10 or 11% stop loss. And what makes the swing failure pattern even more powerful is that my position is now protected. Okay, I actually entered a little bit lower. I entered there, right? I think my entry, if I'm not mistaken, is 4.48. 4.48. Right, my entry is over there somewhere. 4.48, 4.47. Okay, so this is what I'm hoping for here on the price of Bitcoin. So I'm jumping to AR just to educate and show you guys how I like to get into trades. Yes, you can play the breakout. I'm not saying you can't. You just have to use less capital because of how far your stop loss is. And I do know that there's a lot of traders, they play the breakout and they literally put their stop loss below the trend. And then sometimes what happens is it stops them out and it leaves without them. So you do increase the probabilities of yourself being stopped out and price leaves without you. And then you look at this and you think to yourself, shit, I should have put my stop loss where I was supposed to put my stop loss. Now the trade left without me and stopped me out. How many times has that happened? Okay. Because people, sometimes people trade with too much money and they're not prepared to take that loss. Okay. Cool. Legends, let's get back here onto the price of Bitcoin. And remember, AR and Bitcoin can be traded on weeks. And if you haven't taken advantage of the free $100, I'm not sure what you are waiting for. Okay, if you have not, let's see. Okay, if you have not, let's see. Right, if you have not taken advantage of the week's $100 free up to 30K sign-up bonus, and 50% discount on your trading fees. And if you deposit $200 into your features account and you leave it there for 24 hours, you don't even have to trade with it, you get another $100 airdropped into your features account. Okay, this deal is not going to last forever, so take advantage of it and use it as school fees, right? If you're still learning the game, you don't know what you're doing, you're still, losing one trade after the other trade after the other trade, well, there's some free money to trade with. Okay, so the next thing I want to look at, Legends, is, and I want to go here onto the 2-hour chart so we can just, see a better picture over here. If we get continuation here to the upside, which levels are the most important levels where we could potentially reject? Which level? Okay, because there's a chance that we could still reject. And also, if you're inside this long, you might be very interested in where are you supposed to take profits. So what I like to do, the simplest way is, we can now take this FIP out the way. I can take this box. I mean, this is an obvious, if I drag this box just out of interest, okay, I know I'm distracting myself, but you can see how this box has offered resistance and support throughout this entire range. So this is going to be quite a tough nut to crack. It needs to break through, do an RS flip. Remember, horizontal support and resistance always takes priority over diagonal trend lines. Okay, this is why. If you can master support resistance together with trend lines, you'll have a winning recipe. So targets to the upside. If this is an A, B, C, or if this is a 1, 2, 3, okay, you take your trend-based FIB from the low to the high to the low. Now, this is where things get interesting, because now I can see some alignment to the upside. You have a 1-to-1 extension, which is a very, very common C-wave target, in perfect confluence with an untapped naked point of control that formed inside of that consolidation area. You also have the 786 in alignment with the high, but it's not a very common C-wave, especially not a 3-wave target. Okay, it would be very uncommon if we are creating an A, B, C. It is a very uncommon target for a C-wave to reject. Yes, if I have to speculate on this move, and this is a C-wave, I would see a rejection, but I would see a higher low and continuation. because you want to reject at common C wave targets that gets respected the most. And that is your 1-to-1 extension at $104,679. So the reason I'm highlighting this scenario, legends, this one, okay, is that this is the most conservative bullish case scenario that I have over here. If this is formed an A, B, because it is normal for a B wave to have such a long corrective structure or such a long structure, very common for a B wave. And if we're not forming a C wave here to the upside, the 1-to-1 extension is a very, very common C wave target, and so is the 1.236. And slightly above, we have another naked point of control. So let's see if we have some Fibonacci confluence there as well. So if I take a trend from the pivot high to the low that we've created, yeah, I mean, ironic, right? If the C wave does not reject in the golden zone, so the golden zone between the 618 and the 786, this little box over here is also considered the golden zone from a Fibonacci perspective. If you do not successfully reject at the 1-to-1 extension and you go here to the 1.236, look how close that 0.88 is. Once you tap the 0.88, you increase the probabilities of taking the high and going back into price discovery. So it could play out where you tap the 0.88, you come back to the 618, and then you continue momentum to the upside. That would be an interesting scenario. So, I mean, let's just take this fib out purely from a fib retracement perspective. Okay, there is a potential target that could definitely hit here to the way on the way to the upside. If the bulls can hold this level, if the bulls can claim that high like I've done on the lower time frames, if we can successfully break the trend, I do think that there is more weight inside of the bulls court at the moment to at least get some more upwards momentum. Okay. Right. Just want to see something else. The most conservative target where I think, you know, what if, Dewald, what if we are in the long, you know, we've entered the long, it goes up and it falls down. There is another scenario. Just want to see. And from a simplicity perspective, I want to do this. And I want to see if I still have that scenario here on my chart. Not that one. WXY, corrective triangle. Here we go. I want to see something over here. If we have created a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this was a B, C to the upside in a corrective structure. Okay, let's do this. B, C. Now what I want to do is take a trend-based fib. Well, first thing to do is you take a normal Fibonacci from the high to the lowest point. And, I mean, okay, this is now the bearish case scenario over here, which I do think the scenario carries slightly lower probability, but we need to be aware of it, okay? Because sometimes the lower probability scenarios actually do play out, okay? More something like that, right? Where you have formed an impulse in a contracting diagonal. This is part of the corrective structure, and then you have the 0.618. This is an obvious area of resistance above those two pivots over there. Okay, so if you are forming an A, B, and we are now going up for a C wave, this is definitely, you know, $98,949. But what I want to highlight with this scenario, before I make it complex, okay, from a simplicity perspective, let's take the scenario out the way. When you play the breakout of a trend, you must always take your fib from the high to the lowest point to go and work out profit-taking areas. Because like I always preach, okay, as long as you are in a range, it is never guaranteed that you're going to take the high. If you play a successful breakout and you see obvious resistance, look at the resistance over here that the 618 is offered, that little pivot with these pivots over here. If you do get a successful breakout, it's an obvious profit-taking area, because often when the price continues to range, okay, you tap the 0.618, maybe even the 786, and you continue the range, and you could potentially even come and claim the lows again. So, I mean, it's not easy, legends. I wish I could sit here and tell everyone that we are definitely claiming the high. After this claim over here, if we break out successfully, this is where we need to take profits. It is just, trading is not that simple. Okay, there is always a bullish and a bearish case scenario. The best advice that I can give you is that when you long, you take profits when you hit resistance. That's just how it works. You long support and you take profits when you hit resistance. You short resistance and you take profits when you hit support. That is how you make money in trading. It's never the trade, because it could continue up here, reject by the 618 and fall back down. And then we were all waiting for this level. You had such nice profits in the bag. You had all that profits, especially if you managed to sniper the 786 level here to the downside. Now you got stopped out with nothing. Okay, if you can make it a habit of, okay, I'm hitting resistance, I'm taking 50% profits or 20% profits, or whatever your strategy is, take profits. I mean, there was many successful trades in this range that I took here to the downside, to the upside, to the downside, to the upside, to the downside. And some of them went higher or lower depending on whether I shorted or longed. And I showed everyone the P&L, where I got in, where I got out. And it was still significant profits, but I pay myself when I hit resistance and support, depending on whether I'm longing or shorting. Okay, scraping that little bit of cash out the market, because that's how we stay successful. So, legends, what could potentially happen is, so, you know, that pivot looks very interesting. Very interesting pivot, and this resistance, the 0.618, does look very interesting. What if this is forming an impulse? This is a corrective structure to the upside and we're going down. We have to just consider that scenario. So, you know, when I long and let's say I take 50% of my profits over here because maybe I got into that long, for argument's sake. I didn't get into it. Maybe I will still get into it if we do, you know, get the retracement areas where I want to see the retracement areas. Let's say I take 50% profits over there. You can be guaranteed that I have already put my stop loss above my position, okay? And I might even move my stop loss up as price moves in my favor. And then I still have another 50% to ride to the upside in case we get continuation to the upside, so that I don't have to FOMO into the trade. I can still enjoy more profits here to the upside. And potentially I will even add to my position if I see more bullish signs building up in the structure. Okay, so resistance area, legends, we need to pay attention. You need to pay yourself. And obviously the highs are always a profit-taking area. But I do like, okay, I'm not sure why. Okay, and I suppose the only reason from a technical perspective is that this is a very, very interesting resistance level over here. Very interesting resistance level at 104, let's call it $105,000. If the bulls have any chance of turning this structure, okay, into a bullish structure, I do think that price has a high chance of getting here. Okay, so if you are in a long position over here and you do pay yourself on the way up, leave some of that position open, because I do think it has a chance to get to $104,000. Right, cool. There's also another scenario, legends, and I know this is going to get crazy, is quite ironically also, okay, when you do a fib pull from the high to the low, look at where the fib extension is. in perfect alignment with this naked point of control. And this is now where I want to talk about the more bullish case scenario, because we could potentially get a more aggressive bullish case scenario. What if, just what if this is a 1 and this is a 2 and we're going to create a 3, 4, 5 here to the upside? Okay. Then I take the same fib pool from the high, from the low to the high to the low. Now we're getting here to $111,000. Yo, that $111,000 sounds very familiar. Was it this fib pool? I remember the $111,000 from another. No, it wasn't that one. Anyways, right, legends. If price 1, 2, 3, $111,000, we go into price discovery. It increases the probabilities that this is a 1, 2, 3. You're going to make a 4th wave and continue momentum to the upside to create a 5th wave. Do your ABC correction and continue momentum to the upside. So it doesn't carry the highest probability. I do not like how short this wave 1 is and how long the second wave is. It's over 11, 12 times longer. Okay, I don't even have levels on my time fib to go and measure where this actually ended, but it's just, you know, the probabilities of this being an A, B, C is higher than this being a 1, 2, 3. But it's not an invalidation. Time is never an invalidation. It only impacts probabilities. So most bullish case scenario is that there's a chance that this low could hold and we find upwards momentum until we hit $111,000. It has a chance. It has a chance. Right, let me go through some more comments. I need a sip of water. Dewald, can you counter your long with a short? Yes, you can hedge. I have done hedge trading. I don't like it anymore, but sometimes what I will do is that I'm going to see what's the easiest way for me to explain it. If price, okay, this is the mistake that some people make, is if price is in the middle of nowhere, here for example, and you don't know whether it's going up and you don't know whether it's going down, okay? So price is at or let's just take this. You don't know if it's going up and you don't know if it's going down. So you go in short and long. You go and hedge the position. You open up $100 short position and you open up $100 long position. Now the question is, where the hell do you put your stop losses? Because often price can kick out and stop out both positions and then continue in a direction. That I have seen often. The wrong way to hedge a long and a short is if you do not know where price is going to next. So you just hedging and hoping for the best, and one of the stop losses will kick in and price will carry on in that direction. So hope is not a strategy. The best hedging that I can explain that has a better chance of playing out, okay, and still gives you profits in the bag is when you have a trading plan. So let's say your plan said you must long the 786, so you got into the long. Price continues here to the upside and it taps this level, this 0.618 over here, and it finds weakness and it starts rolling over. You take profits from your long, and now you can also enter a short to the downside. But you need to know from the longing perspective where to take profits. Once you enter a short, where are you going to take profits? When you hit support again. Okay, so you have to have a trading plan for the long and for the short. So if you have a long open here and you are expecting it to still continue to the upside, you can still short over here, which basically means you're hedging the long, but you are still taking profits where you're supposed to be taking profits for the short. You could then, if you see massive bullish CVD, it's holding the trend, it's holding the support, for example, you can add to your long position over there. Okay, so if you are hedging short and long, with a trading plan behind each entry, knowing where to take profits, that is powerful hedging. And I know Andy and myself, we do it very successfully, especially Andy. He likes to hedge, but he has a trading plan behind each trade. I think like I've said, where most people go wrong with hedging, and I'm not saying you guys go wrong with hedging, is that price is at a specific level. You don't know which way it's going to go, and now you're just like short, long. Now the question is, where on earth do you put your stop losses? Do you put the long stop loss over here, and you put the short stop loss over here, and then price does this? Then you get stopped out of both positions and you don't make any money. Okay, no, there needs to be a plan behind it, right? There needs to be a plan. Hope that helps, Satoshi. Hope that helps. That's a big pennant triangle on the higher time frame. Yes, smash the like button. Yes, how many likes do we have? 116 likes. I know we can do, I know that I'm the only bullish peanut here in the packet at the moment, looking at the sentiment out in the market. Right, legends, but it would be nice to see a little bit of bullish momentum here on the like button. Oh, nice. What is the short best levels, Mustaine? Right, I've gone through the levels. Shorting levels that I'm watching is this pivot over here. Where price is at the moment, okay, I'm not interested in shorts. Not too interested in shorts at the moment. Let's zoom into the smaller time frames. Let's go even to the 5-minute time frame and look at this structure. The only short that I will consider at the moment, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's not easy to short this range, legends. I just want to see something. Okay, I had a shorting plan this morning. It was an SFP from the high, and we took it, and now we got some nice green volume kicking in with a move here to the upside. So not too interested in the short at the moment. If I have a plan and the plan gets invalidated, it is what it is. Okay, I did not enter that short. I would consider a rejection from the trend as a short. I want price to move up, take the high, and reject by the trend and get acceptance back below the high. That is where I will trigger a short. It's the only shorting opportunity that I see with this impulse here to the upside. Okay, because this could be building up. I mean, this could be 1, 2. Now it's building up 1, 2. I mean, it could get very aggressive here to the upside. So basically what I'm seeing is this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could be the end of the impulse, or this could have been the end of the impulse. A, B, C. Now it's building up again. It could basically form a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and it can just rock and roll here to the upside. Okay, this structure that it's building at the moment looks incredibly bullish. I can already count 5 waves in here. Okay, this is why I'm not too interested in shorts at the moment. The only short that I will take is acceptance back below this high. We are struggling by the 0.88 at the moment, but because you have tapped the 0.88, you increase the probabilities of taking the high. So if you have sniped a short over here, a small little local SFP, if you snipe it, this little short over here, you need to be extremely defensive. You need to protect your position as quickly as possible, and you need to know exactly where to take profits. You've got support right over there. There's obvious support over there. So if price comes back down, this is where you need to take profits from the short. If price continues back up and it rejects successfully, gets acceptance back below the high, okay, this is support over here. This is where you need to take profits, because it could attempt to break out again if it doesn't just fly and break out immediately. But I will only attempt the short if we get acceptance back below this high. Maybe. I'm not feeling in the short mood at the moment, but if I see the price action that I like and I can apply good risk management, I might attempt the short. The most obvious short from a larger time frame perspective that I like the most is this pivot. That is the short that I like the most. But it still has a way to go. The reason I like it is because when you take a fib from the high to the low, it is also the 1.618, and when you take a fib from the high to the low, the 0.618 is also at this level, and you can see the resistance that this level has offered already. So I would rather consider a short over there. For me, that's a higher probable short than trying to scalp shorts in this range with the bullish momentum here to the upside. Right, tight SL at 96.588, 96.588. Yes, if you do, I mean, if you're an experienced trader, definitely, okay? If you go here onto the 5-minute time frame, if you are an experienced trader and you know how to short an uptrend, like there was a perfect SFP. Perfect SFP. You enter like a sniper. When price gets acceptance back below, you enter like a sniper. You put your stop above the high, and then when you start moving down, what you could do is you could protect your positions, okay, and then you hit support. That's your profit taking area. So you get in, you get out, because you're hitting support. You're supposed to take profits. So you can still short an uptrend. You just need to be very defensive, and you need to be very selective, and you need to be fast. Okay, because if you hesitating, and I've seen it often, you know, you sit and you stare at the price action, because I used to do this as well. Okay, you're planning a swing failure pattern from the high. Price comes up, it dips above, it gets acceptance back below, and then you watch the price. You're too scared to click that button, and then you enter over there with your stop loss above the high. But now you know you have such a bad risk to reward, because here is obvious support. It just doesn't make the trade worth it. You need to sniper them as quickly as possible with good risk management. Protect your position, take profits, get in, get out. Okay. I want to see what CVD is doing. Let's refresh this. I hope it plays ball. There is some local bearish CVD building up, if I'm not mistaken. Bearish CVD actually already got invalidated. But we were building up some local bearish CVD. Okay, local bearish CVD against those two pivots. And the target is the low. But now price invalidated the bearish CVD. So it's just not a... I know the 0.88 gang. Okay, we have a 0.88 gang inside of our Legends Pro community. Okay, I know. But you're now trading above the 0.88. Ideally, what you would like to see is for price to trade below the 0.88, so that you know where to put your stop loss and you know where to take profits. But price is trading above the 0.88, and this is why the short here looks a bit iffy for me. It looks like it's not a great short at the moment, as long as price is trading above the level. If this is a ABC, A, B, this can't be an A, B, and now we're going to create a C to the downside, because this looks very impulsive here to the upside. A B wave has to be a 3-wave structure. Okay, if this is A, B, C, that we're going to fall to the downside, this B wave has to be a 3-wave structure, and this looks very impulsive, especially on the smaller time frames. It looks like 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5 A B C, and now it's continuing here to the upside. It looks very 5-wavy instead of 3-wavy. Also, if I take a trend-based fib from the high to the low, reverse, we go and reverse it. Yeah, guys, if this is let's just, play out the scenario. If this is an impulsive structure, and this is A, B, C, it's not allowed to tap the 1.618. Okay, and that is literally where you could put your stop loss. So if you're speculating on this is the end of the impulse, this is A, B, and this is going to come down for C wave, maybe find support here by the lows or here by the naked point of control, right? Your stop loss can be slightly above the 1.618 because if you tap the 1.618, it invalidates a B wave. It's not a flat anymore. Okay, you're most likely going to continue momentum to the upside. Yeah, it's just not in the zone where I would short at the moment. I know it is at the 0.88. Right? If it needs to fall, it needs to fall now. That's basically what it boils down to. If this is an impulse, and this is an A, B, and we're going to come down for C, it has to reject over here right now. It cannot go up again because it's going to tap the 1.618, which invalidates a flat. So if you are interested in a short, well, this is where you're supposed to short, right? And you can put your stop loss slightly above the 1.618. And you need to pay yourself, right? As soon as you start hitting support to the downside. So it is a shorting opportunity. Yes, can you count this as a three-wave structure? 1, 2, 3. It just looks very much like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. It looks very impulsive, but I mean a B wave can also be a 5, 3, 5. And now it's going to fall down. There's a chance. There's a chance. Okay. There is a chance, but this is where it needs to fall. It cannot go higher. So if you want to short, remember to use the link down in the description on weeks where you get that $300. This is where you short because you know exactly where you're supposed to put your stop loss. It's not allowed to go any higher. And I remember speaking about the same situation here on the larger time frame. If I go here onto the 1 hour time frame, I remember this like it was yesterday. Where was it? Where was it? Yeah. I think it was this little pivot over here. Take a trend-based fib from A, yeah. You reverse it, right? Look at that. I said the exact same thing. I remember it like it was yesterday. We were trading over here, and I did a live stream while we were chopping inside here, and I said, guys, if you would like to short, this is where you short. And you put your stop loss at the 1.618. Because if this is creating an A, B, and it's going to fall to the downside, this is where you are supposed to short because price is not allowed to tap the 1.618. If it taps the 1.618, it is most likely going to continue in that direction. And what happened after I closed the live stream, I remember it was literally a couple of hours after the live stream, bam, we fell to the downside. And that was the zone. That was the zone where you had to short. And it kind of reminds me exactly of that scenario where we are in right now, is that if you want to short, this is where you short, okay? And you have such a clear invalidation. For now, there's no bullish CVD at the moment. So it could potentially still continue here to the downside. I mean, you could have even played the local SFP from this high over here. Local SFP, you put your stop above the high. And right now you're enjoying the momentum here to the downside. When you hit support, you need to start taking profits. TP1, TP2, TP3. As simple as that. Legend. You are a legend, Mr. Andy. Yes, you are the legend. No, you are the legend. No, you are the legend. I sound like Oprah Winfrey. Welcome to the live stream. The legend himself here in the house. Andy, I was just telling everyone, I mean, if you want to short, this is where you need to short, okay? Because if this is the end of the impulse and this is forming an A, B, right, the 1.618 is right over there. And if you're going to tap the 1.618, you must probably forming another impulsive structure here to the upside. So if you want to short, you know exactly where to put your stop loss. And it kind of reminds me, like I've just explained to the legends over here. Okay, Andy, I don't know if you remember this because we both spoke about this. If you want to short, and I did a live stream over here, and I said, guys, if price is going to come and claim this low, this is where you need to short. And this is where you need to put your stop loss. And we fell, right? That was a beautiful trade that played out over there. And it kind of reminds me of the exact same thing. If price needs to reject, it needs to reject now. Because if it doesn't reject now, it's most likely going higher. Okay, we are at the 0.88. One could argue, you know, looking at this structure on the larger time frame, you know, sometimes they say in Elliott wave theory, when in doubt, zoom out. And when I'm here, you know, on the 30-minute, 1 hour time frame, it does look nice as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is maybe an A, B, and it's going to create the C and then maybe find upwards momentum again. Okay, but I'm looking for those two pivots and that little pivot for potential SFP back to the upside. And but I have gone through this technical analysis during the beginning of the live stream. So if you want to know the longing opportunities that I'm watching over here, go just rewind the live stream a little bit. Okay, but then there's the bullish case scenario as well, right? This could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is A, this is B. Here to the upside, it creates a 5-wave structure in a C, and then it goes back to the upside. But there's a more bullish case scenario as well. What if this is forming a 1, 2, 1, 2, you know, and then oof, it just goes. But there's still potentially a short. So I would still consider an SFP from the high as well, like I've explained. If price continues up here, it rejects by the trend, gets acceptance back below the low, that is also where I'll be looking for a short. Okay. But you need to be defensive with profit taking. You have to take profits when you hit support. Right, legends, let's go through some more comments over here. You are a pretty awesome guy. 𝗞𝗔, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Right, is that it? Is that the scenarios over here? I'm not sure. I don't think. The one thing I also wanted to discuss over here, legends, is the ETH BTC chart. Okay. ETH BTC chart. What is interesting about the ETH BTC chart for me here at the moment is that ETH BTC has found support at a multi-year support level. Look at this. Resistance, support. Look at that big bounce once you tap that level. Support. Support. Resistance. It just chopped through, but eventually it got support over here. And now ETH BTC has dipped into the support box again. And what is interesting about what ETH BTC is doing over here, legends, is that look at this. If I zoom into this box, this channel, this parallel channel, okay, ETH BTC dipped below, and it now looks like it wants to get acceptance back inside of the channel. So maybe, just maybe, okay, it is ETH's chance to outperform Bitcoin tremendously. What I would like to see, I would like to see a weekly candle close back inside the channel. So I would like for Monday, you know, Sunday, Monday, and if Monday still has a candle inside of the channel, we might see some fireworks from ETH. Okay. It's going to tap the mid-range. Look how nicely the mid-range has been respected. Okay. It's going to tap the mid-range. Maybe it comes back, makes a higher low, continues, breaks out from the channel, and we get that ETH run that is long overdue. But what I like about the ETH BTC chart is that we have finally hit proper support. This is not Mickey Mouse support. This is proper support that we have hit now here for the first time. Okay, and I do like the bullish sign that we are getting acceptance back inside the channel over there. So maybe ETH is gonna blow people's socks off, and it's about time, right? The forgotten child, the altcoin that no one wants to talk about, the altcoin that no one wants to buy anymore. I think ETH has a very good chance of finding upwards momentum and strength over Bitcoin, okay, if it can close a weekly candle back inside of this channel. So it does look good for ETH. I know everyone is talking about Solana is going into a bear market. you know, I still have this simple pattern over here. I do have Elliott wave counts as well, but from a simplicity perspective, as long as I know everyone is calling for Solana bear market, there's lots of FUD at the moment. All these meme coins that has been built on Solana that is, you know, that is bankrupting people and going, I don't know, I don't even want to talk about the FUD. But from a technical perspective, as long as Solana can hold the cup handle, as long as it can hold this line, which is doing at the moment, it still has a chance to gain upwards momentum and hit the target of $382, purely based on this target over here. And I mean, it might sound simple, legends, it might sound very simple, but it's not over until it's over. There's a lot of FUD on Solana at the moment, but what if that is potentially a buying opportunity? Because FUD creates opportunities. You have not gotten acceptance back inside yet. Once you start closing daily and weekly candles inside of this handle, then I'm going to say, okay, it starts carrying lower probabilities at the moment. But it's just dancing around, finding support here above. Okay? And there's a saying that says, never let a good disaster go to waste. Right, so that's what I see on Solana. I know it's bearish. I see the thumbnails, people are saying that, you know, Solana is going to go back to $80. It's going to go back to $40. It's going into a bear market. These are some of the some thumbnails and things that I'm seeing. And I'm not saying I am bullish. I'm just saying from a technical perspective, it's still holding the level. And I will only start turning bearish once it closes high time frame candles back inside the cup. The handle, not the cup, the handle. Once you see high time frame candles inside, then you are gaining acceptance back inside this channel, which means that you can come back to the bottom of the channel. That could potentially bring you down to $80, $70. Definitely a chance. But for now, it is still finding support. AR, I have gone through AR, legends. I mean, here's my entry. My entry is right over there. Okay, that is my entry, already protected. Let's see if this time I don't get stopped out at break even. ETH BTC looks amazing. Okay, Bitcoin dominance, right? When you see a weekly, if I go here onto the weekly, when you see a weekly rejection week like this, it usually signals a top. It did not get acceptance back outside of the channel. It failed to break the resistance. So maybe, just maybe, that altcoin season that everyone is waiting for could potentially be around the corner, where this bearishness and this fear on the fear and greed index is potentially just a way to shake everyone out before, you know, that glorious altcoin season starts kicking in, and then everyone was too scared to buy the dip, and now they have to buy in at higher levels. This is why I'm still attempting trades here on AR. I'm very bullish on AR, and if I can catch a trade where I have a free trade where it's now protected, why not? Why not? I'm not exposing myself to any risk. Okay, I got stopped out. My entry was over there because I played this SFP, and then I added a little bit over there, which dragged my entry up. Okay, dragged my entry up, and then last night I got stopped out, and when I saw the SFP, I was like, hang on, I'm back in, brother. And then when we start moving up, okay, I protected my position this morning, and if I get stopped out again and it does that, guess what? I will re-enter with my stop below the low. As price moves in my favor, I'll protect my position. I just like to get into trades where I can have free trades to the upside, okay? But it's not massive positions, but I'm attempting the trades here on weeks, on bluffing, and right, let's see how that plays out. Could Rune recover? That's a good question. Let's go and have a look at Rune. I have not checked out Rune in a while. Let's see what is cooking here with Rune. Okay, that's the 1 hour time frame. Almost got a heart attack. Okay, let's see. I just want to take some levels here out. Just want to clean up the chart. Just want to see what is cooking over here. Okay, I can take that out. We don't need that anymore. I want to go on to the logarithmic scale. Can Rune recover? Well, let's see. Ooh. I mean, it's not looking great, I'll be honest. Okay, Rune has tapped the 0.88, which is not something that you would like to see. So, I mean, this was the previous bull cycle, 2021. Okay, 2021 the bull cycle year to the upside. And now, based on this little low that we've made here on 15 June 2023, and we got this beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside. And this could be counted as a corrective structure to the downside, but I do not like, you guys know what I always say about the 0.88, you increase the probabilities of taking the low. So it's not looking great for Rune here at the moment, but it's not looking great. I would have liked Rune to find support here by the 786 inside of this consolidation area. Okay, I don't like the 0.88 tap. Can Rune form a 1, 2, 3 year to the upside? Yes, because the 0.88 is not in invalidation for a wave 2. It just significantly reduces the probabilities for a wave 2. When you tap the 0.88, there's a higher chance that you are forming a corrective structure back to the upside, and you're going to come and claim this low. Where all of this was the bull market, and this entire structure is a corrective structure, and then only will it find momentum back to the upside. Does Rune have a chance? Of course it has a chance. Okay, of course. I just want to see something here. If I measure this corrective structure, so A, B, and now we have created the C wave to the downside. Let's see if we have tapped C wave targets. So I now want to take this fib out the way so I can just see the levels properly. Okay, well, good news is, if I need to go and scratch for some good news here on Rune, okay, is that if this has formed, if this is an impulsive structure here to the upside, which it very well looks like, beautiful impulsive structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C here to the downside, you can see that it is finding support at the 1.236. Okay, that is where it's holding on for dear life at the moment. So regardless of the 0.88 tap that Rune has done over here, if this is forming an A, B, C, the 1-to-1 extension, the 1.236, very common C wave targets. So if Rune has any chance of still climbing to the upside and coming to claim this high again at $10, let's call it $11, this is the zone it needs to hold. Because if it's not going to hold the 1.236, it's going to go to the 1.618. Because the 1.382 is not a retracement target. If Rune loses this zone, it's going to find support at 64 cents. So for the bulls, you are basically at the level where it has to bounce. Okay, hint, hint. Like if you are bullish on Rune, okay, if you are bullish on Rune, if you believe in the fundamentals, if this is a project that you would like in your portfolio, this is where you're supposed to buy. If you believe Rune has stuffed up and they're going to lower levels, it's never going to recover, you don't buy. Okay, so it's all dependent on your fundamental feelings towards the project. But this is the zone, right? This is the zone. And I'm kind of getting that feeling when I look at some of these altcoins and I see the critical levels where they are at. Even AR is at a very critical level. Rune is at a very critical level. Solana, everyone calling for a bear market on Solana. When I look at this bearish sentiment in the market, and I also look at the timing. So how long did this impulse take here to the upside? And how long, okay? How long did the impulse take? And how long did it take to make this low? It's after the one-to-one extension. That's where you want to see the corrective structure end. Between the one-to-one, basically after the one-to-one extension is a beautiful place to end a corrective structure target. Okay, so yes, Rune, my boy, if you have any chance of saving yourself, this has to be it. Okay. It has to be it. If it loses this area, it's most probably going to take the low. And yes, can you still get a bounce? Of course you can get a bounce, but I think it's going to roll over again. Okay. And just create lower, lower, and, you know, lower lows, and you continue momentum to the downside until the project dies. So it is, you know, from a technical perspective, and please guys, this is not financial advice. If you have any bullish feelings towards Rune, this is where you're supposed to buy, because it's not allowed to go lower than that. So you're potentially buying the bottom. Otherwise, it's going to invalidate this bullish structure. Yes, it has tapped the 0.88, but it's not an invalidation for wave 2. Okay, only when you claim the low, you invalidate the structure, the bullish structure to the upside. Only when you claim the low. And from a retracement perspective, A, B, C, you are at a very, very common C wave target. So this is where it needs to hold. Okay. Then what I want to do is quickly look at Rune here from a regular perspective, zoom into this structure. Okay. Oh, this is hilarious to see. Look at this. Look how Rune is grinding against this trend that I have over here. Okay, I've been speaking about this trend for so long, right? Just grinding. What you would like to see from Rune over here, okay, is that it is breaking out of the trend. Just want to make sure that I have that trend properly snapped on. It's actually broken out a little bit further because your trend actually needs to be there. Okay, so Rune is breaking out of the trend. But what I would like to see, looking at this structure, I want to. For the first thing I want to see is I want to see some more candles close outside of the trend. It needs to go sideways. Sideways is a very good sign because sideways means accumulation. While it is dumping and dumping and dumping, it can continue dumping. When it goes sideways, that is a sign of strength. So if Rune can go sideways a little bit, even gaining some upwards momentum, and it starts claiming some of these highs, I'm going to say, okay, you have high time frame candle closes above this trend. There's a good chance that Rune is going to hold the lows and continue momentum to the upside to go and claim $11 again. But you can be very, very patient with this trade, right? You can be very patient. It is breaking out at the moment, but it's not enough. For me, that's not enough. I want to see more. I want to see, let's see on the daily. Yeah, I mean, it literally only has 2 or 1 day candle closes outside. I want to see more. I want to see a little bit more. And the reason you can be so patient with these trade legends is that, look at this, okay? Everyone freak out, you know, and I've seen this often, is that price breaks a trend. Okay, it does that. And they're like, crap, I missed it. Why did I not play the breakout when my alarm went off? Okay. You can be very patient, legends, because look at this, okay? If this low is going to hold and price does this here up and down, and you are that type of person that's saying, I missed the breakout, okay? Even if price goes a little bit higher, by building a spot position outside of the trend, okay, you are still targeting $11. So from a risk to reward perspective, it is still amazing. Even if you get the entry in the zone, like by $2, whatever, you're targeting the highs, your stop is here below the low, you're still looking at a risk to reward of 5.6. you can be very patient. And patience, the beauty about the patience is it will give you confirmation. You want to see market structure change. That is the most important thing. Market structure needs to start changing, because at the moment, here on the 8-hour time frame, all I see is lower highs and lower lows. Okay? All I see, right, look at this. High, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower lows. So what I would like to see is I would like Rune to claim that high. Claim the high and then make a higher low. That would be a very interesting position to get into. Because as it claims the high, it's most probably going to come down for a correction. You're going to have your trend and it's going to break out over there. That, that to me is a more confirmed trade. You're trading outside of the trend and you are changing market structure. You're now making higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher. It needs to turn around. At the moment, it's still falling. Okay, and remember, legends, AR, Rune, the altcoins, ETH, they can be traded on weeks where you get that $100 for free. Money gets airdropped into your account as you trade, and if you do have an extra $200 lying around, okay, you don't even have to trade with it. You get an additional $100 deposited into your feature account. Free money. Okay, what is the time? When considering a swing failure pattern, do consider wicks or candle close. Well, candle closes above or below. So, I mean, let's look at. Yeah, it depends. I like to see a wick behind. Okay, let me not beat around the bush. When I play a swing failure pattern, I like me some wicks, okay? Because I like to trade the 15-minute and the 1-hour time frame. So when we had this momentum here to the downside yesterday, okay, look at this. Let me take this out the way, and it looks like we're currently getting the rejection, the short that we spoke about, okay? When you take a fib here from the low to the high, let's talk about the recent trade. On my favorite time frames, you left a wick behind. That's a bullish sign. On the 15-minute time frame, let's see. Okay, you also left. You had two body closes above. But what I like to see is price dip below and it starts trading above. Okay, and then you can even get in at the retest over there, right? And there was bullish CVD building up against those two pivots. But my preferred way, the best way, these ones are not always easy to get into. Okay, sometimes you have to enter a little bit higher and just use less capital. But the trade that I played here, for example, the short that I played to the downside, I took my trend-based fib. Okay, this is how I got into this short. Sorry, I'm doing this wrong. It's from the low to the high to the low. Okay. I was on the 15-minute time frame and price tapped the 1.236 and it left a week behind. I entered. As soon as price moves below the level, I enter like a sniper and I put my stop loss above the high. And as price is falling, I then protect my position. Okay, I protect my position. And as price hits support, I take profits. And then I put a limit order here at the 786 because I saw that pivot against that pivot. We tapped the 0.88, which increases the probabilities of taking the low. And I knew if we were going to take this low, we must likely coming down to the 786 level. So this is where I closed my short. This is where I took profits. My first TP1. TP1 closed my position on the short that I took over there. Some swing failure patterns are easy, some of them are not easy. Okay, some of them leave these beautiful wicks behind, and some of them leave body closes behind. But I mean, on the fifth, I like to jump between the 15-minute, 1-hour time frame. Okay, on the 1 hour, it looked bullish as hell. Right? It's just it's screaming long me, long me, long me. Okay. But yeah, I didn't get into that trade. I missed the long to the upside, but I did get into AR. Very happy that I got into AR. Shared screenshot CVD ETH for you in Discord. Sorry for the spam, but I think it is bullish. Let's go check it out. Let's go check it out. Let me put on a blank screen. Let me go open up our Legends Discord. Let me do this. I need to now drag this to this screen. Okay, Bitcoin. Let's see. Not here. Is it inside of the altcoin section? Is it inside the Legends chat? I don't know where you put it. I do not know where you put it. Inside of the Discord section. You could have put it anywhere. Did you tag me? Is it here on the Bitcoin? Right. So, Gillian, I still don't know where you put it. In your Discord. Sorry for spam. Right. I still don't see it. Gillian, I still don't see it. Let me know where you put it in the Discord. Under the BTC section, in the Pro section, in the Basic section. I'm not going to go through all the channels now to try and find it. Okay, cool. Legends, that is unfortunately all I have time for today. Thank you so much for watching. I've done all the technical analysis here on Bitcoin. We've gone through ETH, BTC. Smash up that like on your way out. If you're not already subscribed, make sure that you subscribe for future notifications. And until the next one, cheers for now.